Greetings, this is Dr. Matthew Korn with 65 Plus Center for Active Aging here with your weekly rounds. It is Friday, April 17th, and if you've been following me on our YouTube channel, we do daily doses, about 5 minutes of just general talk about what's going on during that given day, um, helping to keep us all occupied, including myself. As you know, my practice has been shut down since March 18th and definitely be closed until April 30th, and we'll reassess things at that point. The purpose of today's weekly rounds is to kind of just sum up the week, what we talked about, and maybe introduce a little bit more of a lengthy topic to talk about that might interest you. Um, so, just to kind of recap what we talked about this week, um, you know, corona deaths are certainly still peaking here in Florida. We did have 3 deaths. Excuse me, here in Sarasota County, we did have 3 deaths this week. One in Venice and 2 up in Sarasota. Um, and I think our infection rate is somewhere in the mid 200s. I don't have a current number on that today, but I use the Johns Hopkins website. So there are several websites that are tracking it nationally and globally. I use Johns Hopkins. You can find that easily online. As a reminder, Meals on Wheels is ramping things up. Anyone who's 60 years or older may qualify. If not for free, then certainly at a steep discount. They'll deliver hot meals to your door, and that's run through the Friendship Center, uh, which has branches in Sarasota and Venice. Um, I talked about car insurance. As you know, we're all driving less. My car insurance company, reached out to me and offered me a discount of 20% for 90 days. I don't know if your insurance companies have, but there's no reason why you can't call and save a little bit of money there if they offer that to you. Makes sense to me. Less people driving, less accidents, less claims. Um, Masks. Masks going to be something that's going to be in our lives for a while, at least in settings where there's close proximity to people, and certainly more than 10 people. So I don't think that paper masks are still going to be in plentiful supply. And in all honesty, we probably should be saving that for medical professionals. We'll see how production goes stateside, and how the supply is for retail. Cloth masks are quite effective too, and they can be washed and reused. Uh, Lots are available online. My wife currently is making them and donating a lot, but she's also selling them online. So if you go to Etsy.com, that's ETSY, um, and look for her store, which is called Sewn, SEWN, in Stitches. I can also put a link down at the end of this YouTube video, and you can maybe purchase a mask or two for you or your loved ones. Um, we are this weekend shooting we have a medical exercise program called GFit. That's a subscription member based uh, medical exercise program at our facility, but obviously we're closed down. So we wanted to give some people some alternatives. We shot our beginner class we call Chair Basics last weekend, and this weekend we're going to be shooting our intermediate level classes, which will be all standing. Program time's about 25 to 30 minutes, so you obviously have to be able to stand for that long. It will be a little bit more challenging, but we have a wide variety of clients here, so we have to meet all the needs. And after that, I plan to shoot an advanced uh, class, and then build more specific classes up, including a cardio class, a stretching class, a balance class, so a little bit more specifics for that. And that is on a separate YouTube channel that is connected with this one. We call that our GFit, our virtual GFit channel. Um, the topic I want to discuss today is the thumb, right? We all got one or at least two. And it's a problem for older adults. The thumb is a very flexible joint. It's kind of like the shoulder of the hand. It goes in many directions. It's a radial joint. You can kind of move it in circles. You can go in more than one plane of motion at the same time. So with all that flexibility, that's what gives us that great grip strength we have. The opposable thumb allows us to do lots of things that certain mammals can't do, but it also is more prone to wearing out as we age. Um, So in the medical world, we call this the CMC joint or the carpometacarpal joint. It's also referenced as the basilar joint of the thumb. And if you think of the word basilar, you kind of think base because that's where it's located. So if you look at your hand, and I've actually drawn on here where the basilar thumb of the joint is, it's in what we call the thenar eminence of the hand here, and it's well below the web spacing where you think your thumb might end. So your thumb actually ends way further down here. I'll kind of turn my thumb and I'll use my little pencil here. So this is the proximal phalangeal metacarpal bone. So it's kind of the first of several bones in the thumb. And this connects to one of our smaller bones of the hand that we call the trapezium. And that's kind of like a peanut shaped bone. And there's a lot of wear and tear on that joint. And it may demonstrate itself as something that you might see your hand kind of starting to turn in and see more of a prominence at the base of this knuckle here. But it also might cause a lot of pain or stiffness. The joint tends to get very hypermobile or has excess movement as it starts to wear out. And there are many ways to treat it. I myself are dealing with some advanced arthritis in these joints, mostly from 20 plus years of manual physical therapy. So I manage it basically with splinting. And with splinting, you can buy one over the counter, or you can have one custom made. So I had one custom made by a hand therapist. It's made of some thermoplastic. They basically molded it to my thumb. And what it looks like basically is it just slides in like this, and I use a little bit of Velcro, and I wear that when I'm working with patients, or if I'm having a lot of pain and it's in the way, I don't use it during the day, I use it at night, so kind of like a night splint. You can buy these over the counter. A little hard to fit. Hands are such a variety of shapes and sizes. The original company that made the thumb splint was called a Spica. So some people just refer to it as a Spica splint. The truth is, there's a lot of other companies that make it. Isotoner type gloves. I have one on here. Provide some compressive forces in the joint. If you need some more manual dexterity, you can see the thumbs are the fingertips are cut off, so you can still use your digits. I will sometimes wear this when I'm working with patients, or just at night as a soft splint. You can order these online. Just again, make sure they're firm. The company that I use for mine is called IMAC, IMAC. You can Google that. In terms of management beyond self-management, I think physical therapy is moderately successful at managing symptoms. Some manual therapy techniques in the hand complex can prove valuable. Modalities such as ultrasound, phonophoresis, which is phonophoresis is applying ultrasound under a water or fluid medium. More recently, class 4 laser systems, which uses infrared light to reduce inflammation. And then some general exercises in the hands, because the stronger the hand complex is, the less stress that thumb joint's going to take. Orthopedically, they can be managed a number of ways. Some non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medications. Orthopedic surgeons will often inject the joint site with steroids on occasion, although you have to be careful about accelerating the wear process. I have read about some more experimental regenerative medicine type techniques such as prolotherapies and PRP injections, which is kind of well out of my realm, but I try to educate my patients on. And then lastly, the arthroplasty surgeries, where they basically reconstruct the joint. They're actually quite successful. The challenge is you're going to be several months out without a great use of that hand, and probably a moderately intensive rehab process. You're going to want to work with a certified hand therapist. As you know, I'm certified in geriatrics. You'd want to work with a certified hand therapist after a surgery like that. But that's kind of like the last stage of things. If none of these other more conservative measures don't help you, you can consider a surgery, which does have a fairly high success rate. It's just a process. I think a great place to start is a physical therapy consult. A general therapist can certainly help you with diagnosis and some very basic treatment. If you need a little bit more skilled care in regards to manual therapies, splinting, kind of like the one I showed you here, you may want to work with a CHT, which stands for Certified Hand Therapist. Anyway, so that is our subject matter today: basilar thumb arthritis, or CMC arthritis, something that most older adults have to manage, oftentimes in their dominant hands and sometimes in two. If you want more questions or learn more about this condition, the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgery has a great website for learning about this. You just go on their website and punch in CMC joint or basilar thumb arthritis, and you'll get some information there. Anyways, that wraps up this week's weekly rounds with Dr. Korn here at 65 plus. Be on the lookout on our website for the new links to the new exercise videos, additional resources. Um, every day, Monday through Thursday, we're doing our daily doses, about 5 minutes of video. And then on Fridays, we're doing our 10-minute video sessions for the weekly rounds, which generally just wraps up everything we talked about earlier in the week. And then I usually talk about one specific issue. Thank you for tuning in. Continue to be safe and healthy. Take good care of yourself, physically, mentally, spiritually, and we'll all get through this together. And we'll see you soon with another interesting topic to discuss. Be well.